Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. Interesting show planned for you tonight. Sandy Berger,
2 minutes until showtime.
our consumer electronics expert, is not well tonight, and so we, Carissa Green, our booking goddess, scrambled, and we got us at least one guest for tonight, possibly two. First hour guest is going to be, we just had our Gamer Tuesday show last night, and so I guess it's fitting together that we're going to have another guest who's involved with games. Play Jam is going to be here with us in the first hour. So all about computer games, and very interesting topic. And we have George Berry here with us, the head of publishing for Play Jam. So he's going to be joining us in the first hour. And then we'll see. If we don't get our second hour guest, then we'll do computer and technology news, and that'll be brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll be starting in about a minute. Okay.
It's crazy. It's like Grayson Hamilton was hit by a car the other day, and now
Until showtime.
Yeah.
And now Sandy Berger's sick today. Our correspondents are dropping like flies.
Yeah, they are. What is up with that? Okay, well, at least Sandy wasn't in a car accident. I think she just got food poisoning or something. I don't know what it was.
We're going to call it the flu until we hear otherwise.
Okay, all right. So there it is.
We're going to call it the flu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Did you get your flu shot this year, Ben?
No, actually, I'm playing it dangerously, playing it loose, playing it dangerous. No flu.
No flu? Okay. Okay.
No flu shot.
Blue fly. Okay. No
But
flu.
I hear senior citizens should really jump on that. Cough, cough.
If you know any, let me know. Okay. Stand by. We've got 10 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I am your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it is a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. And some sad news. Last night we had our Gamer Tuesday, and we had Grayson Hamilton. At least he made it. He was here. But Sandy Berger, who is scheduled tonight, our consumer electronics correspondent, is not feeling well tonight. Yeah, I know. So she's going to take a break from it, and
These things happen. These things happen, though. We're not going to penalize her. She still gets her normal pay, so don't worry about it.
Yes, she does.
She will be getting her 2 Snicker bars just as promised for appearing on the show every month.
Maybe we'll double her salary, exactly. And I'm sure she'll be fine.
Did they double her salary? Because we don't pay her any salary.
Okay. Well, we'll double it anyway. And
okay.
We wish her well, and I'm sure everything will be fine for next month when it comes around again. She's here like on the second. Was it the second Wednesday of every month, or the third? No, it's the second Wednesday of every month. Yes, exactly. Okay, so in light of that, in the second hour, our second hour guest is tenuous at best. We may have them, but if not, we will devote the second hour to computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. Now, if you have a comment or question for anything we're talking about tonight, including our first hour guest, who we'll introduce momentarily, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. That'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. If you don't want to go on the air, it's a great way for you to get your questions in, live at computeramerica.com. You can also join us on our live interactive chat room. Just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com, and you'll see it says chat and live video. It's right there and toward the right of the homepage. click on that, you'll get a special split screen. On the left-hand side, there'll be an entry for the chat room. It just asks you for a username, which is the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you right into the chat room. We'd love to see you in there. If you want to format the chat room to a more visually pleasing nature, we even offer free IRC clients right there. You just click on the button beneath that, and it'll take you to our free software page, and you can download any one of those. Any one of them will work for most platforms or browsers. But it's very easy to set it up. And then on the other hand, on the right side of that same page, the live Computer America video stream will start automatically. That's right. Not only can you listen to the Computer America show, but you can also watch our program. We bring you live Computer America video streaming here on the program. And of course, all of it is archived after the show. Go to our archives pull-down menu, and you can not only listen to, you can watch virtually any past Computer America show. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's important to mention though that the video stream does start automatically, because it's just the worst when you log on to a website or something like that, and there's a video or something like that that automatically starts playing. We try to do that for convenience sake, and we have it buried on a page that's not our home page. But yeah, just be aware of that. If you have your speakers turned up to 1,000 for some reason, you will hear my voice destroy your ears. It will happen.
Blood will come gushing out of your eye sockets as well, so be careful.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
It's like the scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just the face melts.
Okay, anything else you want to mention before we get started in the first hour?
No. I guess one thing, and I guess I should be saying it up until the weekend, is hopefully if you have someone that you are celebrating Valentine's Day with, do not forget. You're running out of time. Please don't forget. You get in a lot of trouble.
Yes. So send Ben flowers, so he won't get angry.
Send me flowers.
That's it.
I am particular to lavender, so hop on it.
Don't want to get Ben angry at you, so send him lavender flowers. Okay, for Valentine's Day. All right. That said, our guest for this first hour is from PlayJam. Now, they're here to talk about their new digital video game distribution platform. Now, PlayJam has developed end-to-end publishing technology for the game sector, spanning the entire process of the submission, testing, staging, going live, pricing, and positioning of content via a fully customizable storefront. It's very cool. Now, joining us this hour is George Berry. George is the head of publishing for PlayJam. George, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm bizarrely awake for it being 3 a.m. here. No small part. My cat going absolutely mental with a new box for my lovely new television you might see in the background there.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah,
nice.
She's incredibly awake, so that's handy.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Cat enjoying a box? No, that's not right.
Well, she's enjoying the power cables at the moment. Slightly concerning. Might have to stop that habit from developing, but I'll deal with it. I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
Yes, exactly. So you have your TV behind there. You get the BBC and everything on that. You get all the good stations on this. You have cable, satellite, or what?
I actually do not have a TV license here. I just watch Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Oh,
you're a cord cutter.
You're a cord cutter. That's
yeah,
good.
I don't know. I got sick of paying for about 300 channels and still having nothing to watch. So.
Exactly. Well, what do you do for local news?
Fortunately, I know quite a few of the local journalists around here anyway, so I hear a lot of it, and it's quite a well-connected community down here, so we all kind of talk to each other anyway.
Now, are you near London? Whereabouts are you actually located?
I'm actually south of Kent, down near Folkestone. It's about 60, 70 miles from London. I commute in every day. I work in Oxford Circus. So it's a lovely, lovely commute every morning there and back, but it's worth it to work in the industry that I love. So
there you go. There you go. So let's talk a little bit about PlayJam a little bit. Who are PlayJam? I mean, what is PlayJam?
Who is PlayJam?
Yeah, who is PlayJam or who are PlayJam? What's the story?
That's a extremely loaded question, I guess. Well, PlayJam, as you said, currently we're doing games distribution. We've got our console, the GameStick as well, the HDMI one. But we've been around for about 15 years now. Started out doing games on cable TV as well, way back when. And since then we've done some iPhone games, publishing those, some Google Play Store games as well. And yeah, we just built up there a team of extremely dedicated professional people pulled in from all sorts of companies. We've got people from Rockstar, IDOS. We've got people that worked on the original Carmageddon. People that actually developed that game working with us as well. So very fortunate to work there. Lots of passionate and very interesting people. And
Armageddon really broke some ground there. I mean,
Some taboo.
yeah, taboo. I mean, basically the format of the game was running over and killing as many people as you can with your car.
Computer games.
And now
Yeah.
it's in today's day and age, it's considered mild compared to some of the games that are out there.
Yeah. I suppose it's all more the message that conveys. I suppose in games today that at least masquerade with a storyline. Grand Theft Auto, of course, one of their main targets for people, but of course that has a story. Whereas Carmageddon, it was pretty much, how would you like to run some people over? And if you did, then Carmageddon is the game for you. They wonder why it caused such controversy.
Yeah, that's how you got points in that game.
Yeah, it's not how it works in real life, apparently. But
well, hopefully, thank goodness,
No. You get points. You just get points against your license, and then they take it away from you. So.
Okay, so and it's obviously been around a long time. So now, what is it that you actually do at PlayJam? When you go to the PlayJam website at PlayJam, you go to playjam.com. What do you see there? What's waiting for somebody who goes to your website?
well, the playjam.com website, recently redone actually by our Polish counterparts in PlayJam. Yeah, you see all the games that we've got there, all the games that have been submitted to us that are available to play on our current GameStick platform, which is a small little HDMI stick that you put in the back of your TV, and it lets you play all these games essentially. And yeah, so all the games on there, you've got some, obviously, Prince of Persia, you've got your Pac-Mans, from some really big budget guys. But we also get lots of passion developers as well, people that are hobbyists as well that have brought their games to us as well. So really on the website you can see the array of titles that we have on there, and yeah, we think that's quite a good platform, especially for, as I said, the hobbyists to get their names up next to some of the bigger dogs in the industry.
Now, you mentioned something you in passing very quickly. You mentioned the GameStick. Why don't you actually expand on what is the GameStick and how does it kind of tie into what it is that you're doing?
Okay, well, yeah, the GameStick is a small console. It comes as a controller with the stick, actually fits inside of it, so you can carry it around. A proper, fully portable kind of TV solution gaming. And yeah, so it was developed pretty much over the period of 2013. We had a very successful Kickstarter campaign, raised around, I think it was $600,000. I think it was $600,000. So we're very happy with that. And yeah, again, it's put together by the guys all at PlayJam, extremely passionate about it, very into their gaming, obviously, as you type in the industry. But yeah, it's a small console that you can carry around with you, plug into an HDMI on the back of your TV or pretty much PC monitor, connect to the internet, download the games, and even if you're a developer yourself, you can change it into a development console and even use it to create and publish your own games upon the network as well.
Okay, it sounds really interesting. I like the fact that it's not only the titles that a lot of people are familiar with, but it allows people to, I guess, use your platform to produce their own games. And now, do people?
Is it distribution, or do you actually provide some sort of framework for people to create their own games?
We don't provide framework. We do provide source development kits, and also we have plugins that have been developed specifically for publishing on our hardware. So if you want to publish on GameStick, we can help with giving you things that we've had developed, such as Unity plugins or Unity plugins to make the GameStick controller just work instantly. Things like that. We find most developers nowadays are quite comfortable with Unity, Game Maker, and so forth. So to try and get them to use a different thing seems a bit arduous and backwards. So they all seem very comfortable. We thought the better option is to help them create the games for us on the platforms that they're currently comfortable with using.
Now, you have quite a number of games here that I'm looking at. Are these? How many games do you actually have up on the PlayJam site that uses the GameStick?
From the top of my head, about 120, and we've got more and more coming in. I think we've got another 20 in the pipeline already, and we're already talking to more and more people. We're going to GDC, Gamers Developers Conference. I'm tripping over my words. I believe it's the end of this month, isn't it? Crazy.
No.
To talk to more people.
And I noticed that some of the games are free. Like, for example, looking at Smash Cops, it's free. And then you can pay 99 cents. So I see some for $1.49, $2.99. So obviously these are $60 games. They're extremely reasonable in price. Do these go direct? Who does this money go to? Does it go to the developer? Do you get a piece of the action? I mean, how does this kind of work?
We usually take a standard cut, like 30%. I believe that's the standard rate. So it's the same as you get with Google Play, iOS, things like that. The difference between Google Play, iOS is that when you submit to us, we actually have a full QA team that play through the entire game. I literally see them watch. I literally sit, I don't know, about 2-3 meters from them, and I watch them play each game over for about 2-3 days. There's two of them that do very rigorous QI testing. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, we always give the feedback straight to the people as well, fully itemized. So that's kind of the extra kind of length that we go to really like help the developers that come to us as well. So yeah, it's 30%. The rest of it goes to the developers. A lot of people now submit free games to us as well, just to basically bring something cool to our platform. To give to the people that have bought the stick as well, to share the love, I guess. And yeah, basically, they just want more and more people to play their games, so they put them on for free because they're quite into the whole ethos of the thing.
Now, are the free games, because you can get free games, for example, on iOS, but then to play them further, you're sort of compelled to buy things, items that will give you more abilities, that type of thing. Is that Premium, I guess, kind of game. Is that what you support, or?
No. The games that are free on our system are free full games. In some ways, freemium games I don't think ethically sit with a lot of us quite well at PlayJam. There are, of course, ways that you can do freemium games really well, which is what we hope to do in the future. But the games that are free on GameStick at the moment are genuinely free. The developers have just changed the price to, or even brought to us free in the first place. Now,
if someone that's coming to this and they want to, they see a game and it looks intriguing, do they get a way of trying, or do they get a try before they buy, or is it that they have to buy the game, or how much can they read about the game before they actually have to purchase it?
Well, usually every game on the GameStick will likely have, the developers will have their own Twitter with a lot of stuff on it, and also in the user interface of the GameStick, you can actually look at screenshots and videos. We don't have a try before you buy system, which is something that we are actually thinking of introducing now, because we've seen other people doing it and making it work quite well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff both in our UI and the developer's own websites to show as much about the game as possible. Well, and usually the general advice for purchasing any game is really to, if you're curious about it and you're not sure, do your research beforehand, just to make sure that you do actually get what you want.
Yeah, for example, I'm looking here. Here's one called Catcha Aliens. They click on it and it says, hone your skill as an interplanetary catches in this fast, fun game of skill and endurance. And then Catch is a mission-based game with refreshing gameplay, lively characters. The developer gives you that it's for ages 7+. You can view screenshots. You can actually watch a little preview of the game. It's
So it
really
gives you a nice little summary before you even
yeah,
touch the game, and
right.
yeah.
There are 45 levels and played in this particular one total, 3 mini challenges. Then it says shop and upgrade system. Now, what is shop and upgrade system? What do they mean by that?
Well, in basically they change from game to game, obviously, but in that actual game, you earn coins in the game that you can then use to upgrade your character, upgrade your things. So that is all in game. Some of the games that we have on the system have been brought across from free-to-play kind of systems, but in the GameStick itself, we don't actually have any specifically free-to-play systems in there. It's all going to be in the game.
Okay. Now, the ones that I'm looking at here, there are quite a number of there are quite a number of them. Obviously, the ones like the Prince of Persia, Pac-Man. These are obvious.
Yeah, they're very popular. But do you have any kind of vetting process, or is it just kind of an automated process? You let everything on until you get complaints, and then you kind of boot them off.
No, not at all. As I said, every game that comes onto our GameStick kind of has a process. Either we reach out, or us and the publishing team reach out to developers that we're interested in, that we really enjoy what they've been doing, or they submit it directly to us. But either way, it all goes through that QI process. Regardless, if the game is completely broken, and there's ways to stop it, stop the consumer from enjoying it. Essentially, if someone's going to pay money for it and it's not going to work, that doesn't sit right with us. We want to make sure that the people that buy it, get the best value that they can. If it's broken, we're not going to sell it, essentially.
Okay. Now, so what if it's not immediately apparent? You're playing it, and there's some bugs in it that come up from time to time, or is that part of your the vetting process that you?
Oh, please tell me if someone's sitting there just beating every single game that comes through.
Genuinely, we've got 2 people that do that.
Awesome.
One of them's from Rockstar. One of them worked in Virgin Games way back when, LucasArts. So they worked on Grim Fandango, and
nice.
They worked on Kane and Lynch as well. So they know what a bug looks like. So they got a very long history of picking out errors, and they are the brutal side. They give it to us, and then we take it to developers with a slightly nicer edge to their very strict numbers game with their confusing spreadsheets, but everything is properly vetted and played through rigorously.
And then of course they say you have to make these corrections, or you have to fix these before we're going to put it up on the PlayJam website. I assume that's what you say, right?
Yeah, I mean sometimes there's glitches that aren't game breaking. Some of them can just be funny. Some of them are exceptionally rare. So we get them to fix them to a playable, so you have to be able to play from beginning to end, and then we present to them all the other issues that were in there that they might want to fix. But as long as we are comfortable and the QI guys are comfortable with saying, yeah, that works, we would be happy. Would we personally be happy to do it?
Sure.
Then yeah, that's when it goes on.
Now, are you trying to take on the big companies like Xbox and Sony with this, or is it something else?
That's a question that gets asked a lot. I mean, especially when you look at other companies in a similar microcosm as ourselves. How do we compete with Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo as well? Can't forget about Nintendo, forever prevalent. You don't compete with them because there's no reason to compete with them. People that already have Xbox Ones, PS4s, or any of the earlier generations as well, they can enjoy it. I've got PS4 and a Wii U in the back there. I also have my GameStick kicking around. It's a different kind of platform. It's a more casual platform, and really, there's no reason for us to compete with them because they do their own thing. They do fantastic AAA, big budget titles, but expensive titles. Expensive consoles. We are a cheaper solution. So we're doing something different rather than try and go toe to toe with Sony or Microsoft. We figure why not try and provide something different.
Yeah, you shouldn't say cheaper. Say less expensive.
Less expensive. We're quite
more affordable.
Quite direct with
more affordable. Well, but now talking about cheaper, I mean, there are other ones out there like Ouya and Fire TV. How about platforms like that? Are you competing with them?
No, because again, with Ouya, we are in the same microcosm as them. We're very, very close with them. and it's in the situation where we're all massively respectful of what each other are doing. Whenever we go to events, we always bump into people from Ouya and stuff like that. There's no real thoughts of actual competition between us. There's enough space for all of us to be in the same system together. I mean, it's just the kind of thing with indie developers and indie games as well. It's a much more friendly atmosphere than perhaps if you get bigger up or in other industries. So there's no real feeling of competition. We feel that we can all exist together and work together and hopefully do something great.
See, I was thinking it was going to be, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Anchorman with Will Ferrell, but I thought it was going to be the scene where all the news is together and they're all pulling out, chains and tridents and swords and grenades.
I was going to say, hey, Brick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
There's a man on fire. Yeah, exactly. But
Brick, sorry.
Exactly. No, but I can totally see how you how it's, even though you're in the same market and you're obviously competing for the same customers, what you guys are doing is certainly different than what games have been traditionally. Because I guess traditionally, up until about 5-6 years ago, you had to have a AAA kind of company behind you, or you made something that was kind of underground and no one really knew about it. This, you guys are kind of at the front of letting, I wouldn't say even the average people, because these games that you have up on your site, they're definitely much more than just one person working on it whenever they get a chance. They're more polished, but then again, not all of them are from your EAs or your Bungies or your what have yous. They're nice games, but they're not exactly the AAAs, which is kind of a new area for video games nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, of course you got mobile games, tablet games. The question sometimes is, why would you want to play a mobile game on a TV? And of course you wouldn't, because that kind of takes the point of it being a mobile game. But there are a lot of games that are controller enabled that do work better on the big screen. And there are some titles that were actually made by the developers to be played specifically on our type of consoles, such as Nightmare Tower, which is actually a really, really great game. And I lost many days where I was supposed to be working playing that instead. But I feel it's really great, as I said, for hobbyists and people that want to get into developing, because it's a platform that they can get onto and they can get the full QA. As you said, they're not AAA titles. They don't have millions of budget going into them, but they still have the same level of passion to be developed by a handful of people that really want to get somewhere. We think that those type of games won't get onto the bigger consoles, but they can get on with us and they can kind of show what they're doing. And so that's kind of what we really enjoy doing.
Well, you still have some really big titles. I mean, like you mentioned the Prince of Persia, and Pac-Man, and I mean the Galaga.
By the way, real quick, sorry for deviating one more time. Pac-Man, what is Pac-Man up to? Because I remember them being two-dimensional, and then I played something for the N64, and then I just lost track of Pac-Man. What's Pac-Man up to?
Probably in a gutter somewhere, high on pills. I remember playing on the PS1, they went 3D Pac-Man World, which was actually surprisingly good, although I was quite young at the time, so it might have been rubbish. I don't actually know. It could all be fuzzy. I think Pac-Man's still going strong, doing what he does best, which is going around flat panels, chasing ghosts. Okay. I mean, there's constantly people trying to beat the world records of that. There's a really interesting documentary on that on Netflix. I think it's called King of Kong.
Yeah. Do you guys have any of some older popular titles like I won't say conga, but that's a dance. Contra, like Contra and the old Tekkens, and do you guys support kind of some older retro games?
Well, we're always welcome to try and bring those on. Actually, on our store at the moment, we have some retro games, and there are some games coming out that are heavily inspired by retro games as well. I'm not sure if I can announce them or not, because they've been pushed through QI, but we're waiting to announce them. So we've got like Galaga and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Galaga has been around for a long time. Well, this is a special edition, but it's Namco, Bandai. Those are the companies that brought those out.
Yeah, we've got the Doom Glaze as well, kind of the Redux Android version of Doom is on there. So while it isn't strictly the original version, it's how should I put this? More visceral. in its spread of the color red everywhere. I think that's. Yeah, so we do have older titles on there. Of course, we're always looking to pull more and more titles on. But the thing is, with passionate gamers, they tend to have all their old consoles out anyway.
What comes up with some of these titles? Sheep in Hell. You know?
There's some interesting people. My favorite one that's coming out soon is literally just called Freesh, and it's become a running joke in the office where we just describe everything we enjoy as very freesh. Now I say it out loud, it does seem like the kind of thing you'd have to be there for, but...
That's just the thing with indie games, though. You get some indie games that are weird. They're named differently. They're one of my favorite was actually Goat Simulator. You think that would be just the worst one ever, but it was actually very entertaining. With indie games, not only do you get a lower price, but you also get sometimes just as much enjoyment for 20, 30, 40 hours out of $2 as you would with a AAA game for $60, 20, 30, 40 hours.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the games are designed for replayability. That's kind of like the whole ethos, I guess, behind mobile developing is to get one kind of mechanic and make sure that it can be enjoyable when spread ad infinitum. Again, Nightmare Tower I love because it's got the whole it's all building up, it's all leveling up as well. Simple thing they can play over and over again. I'm just trying to think of any other things.
You know, we're coming to the bottom of the hour here, but I mean, you don't have Angry Birds, you don't have Flappy Birds. You've got Stop the Birds, which is similar, and then you've got Falling Birds. So it seems like some of the games are sort of capitalizing on some of the titles that were popular, and it's just very, very cool. Listen, we gotta take a break here, and then we're gonna continue on. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network. George Berry is here with us this hour. He's the head of publishing for PlayJam, and we'll continue on with us with him. 347-884-8881. We'll get John to get you through. A News Test Bulletin review from Marty Wesson coming up next. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
So, you feeling erudite? This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin book review for Computer America. This time, Wiley's 12th edition of Mechanical and Electrical Equipment for Buildings by Kwok and Gronzi. The new 12th edition is a breezy 1,800 and some pages of the practical, physical, scientific, and engineering underpinnings of everything about building and buildings, from the impact on local soil to, well, everything. Well, new. Most of its coverage of more recent technologies like LED lighting, higher efficiency heating and cooling products, and home control systems is quite dated. But its considerable coverage of the basics more than makes up for that. Comfort, heating, cooling, lighting, acoustics, power, water, sewage, the effects of sun and weather, power equipment, wiring, and other aspects involved in designing homes or office buildings all come into play. It has the levels of detail that architects, builders, designers, and yes, specifically and especially geeks will love. Bottom line, the answer to why things get built the way they do, and what happens when you change those ways, get explained in a zillion ways. And Wiley's 12th edition mechanical and electrical equipment for buildings. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It's 33 minutes past the hour. That was Marty Winston with a News Tip Bulletin Review. We are talking to Mr. George Berry and from PlayJam. There we go. Can't speak right tonight. PlayJam. And right now we're kind of just batting back and forth about the platform in general, what it has to offer, and things like that. And you mentioned that there's also the GameStick console that you can also purchase to play on. But as far as if someone just had a browser and they could go on and purchase a game. Oh, actually, that was one of the questions I want to ask, because when I went there, the pricing scheme is, I don't want to say all over the place, because it's not like someone's trying to sell a game for $1,000, but it's like 99 cents here, free there, $1.29 there. When you first of all, when you price stuff, is there any order to it? And second thing, they're all in U.S. prices, and you are obviously not from the U.S. Is this a worldwide platform?
It is a worldwide platform, yeah, but the majority of our users are actually in the US. Of course, everything gets converted the second that you go on there. You buy the store credit, and it appears in the GameStick that way. As for the pricing, it can fluctuate quite a bit, never obviously sky high, but we let all the developers price their own games. That's kind of something that we feel we should let them do and let them gauge for themselves, especially when, for a lot of them, it's their first foray into the kind of industry, their first kind of publishing for a lot of them. We didn't really feel right trying to bully them or cajole them into doing something. We felt it's better just to kind of advise, obviously, but let them make their own decisions for it. And then further down the line, we could always talk to them. So a lot of games that did come on, I don't know, about, say, 6 months ago, that were priced around $2 or something. After a while, they're satisfied enough to just drop them down to free and just let people pick them up. So they're free to change the price at any time. And I know that because for some reason every change goes into my email and I get bombarded with them constantly throughout the day, which I should probably fix at some point, but I don't know how.
Oh, it's just a simple forwarding thing. No, don't worry about it. So yeah, the prices obviously change, and I don't know about any kind of fire sales. Fire sales, just sales in general that you guys do. I'm sure that's still up to the publisher. I guess talking a little bit as someone who maybe has a video game or has a video game idea, do you guys kind of demand any kind of exclusivity, or can people kind of take their game to as many platforms as they want?
Oh, they can take their games to as many platforms as they want. We don't really see the point in trying to chokehold people or force them into anything. I mean, that's not how we operate, and it's not how we feel the game industry should operate either. Feel like that benefits no one.
Well, that's good to get that. Now, Ben, you said you had a game idea. I mean, you were going to pitch a game to him?
No, I didn't have a game idea. No. Well, honestly, if you seem like a very knowledgeable gentleman, yeah, no offense, and I don't want to kind of deviate too far from PlayJam and GameStick and all that kind of stuff, but if there really isn't anything that we haven't covered, because sometimes we have great guests and they're only on for 40 minutes and we kind of cover everything because, hey folks, it is just that simple. It's a simple platform to get games for cheap from places you may not find these games anywhere else. So is there anything else about PlayJam that maybe we haven't covered?
No, I mean honestly, we are doing some new things in the future. We are currently dealing with one of the largest cable networks in America to bring something new and interesting, which I'm still not allowed to announce, much to my detest. The higher ups are casting that curtain down on me. I want to mention it every time, but I can't because it's exciting. We're also moving into mobile publishing as well to help the same developers as well, who aren't really comfortable with getting their games known. So when you publish, of course, you always run the risk of your game getting absolutely buried in the waterfall of titles. So we're moving to that in the near future, while still maintaining everything else, obviously. And also another big thing that we're doing is taking games and publishing them in China, which is, if anyone knows anything about the gaming atmosphere in China, it's somewhat of a nightmare. It's completely different from America, or frankly, it's completely different from anywhere. It's a completely different beast, the Chinese mobile gaming thing. So that's something that we're going to help people get into as well. And I think that's about it. There you go. Wrapped up nicely.
That was a.
No, okay, well, you know, I get now, but we just wanted to ask you a little bit more about, because obviously you yourself are a gamer, right? I mean, is your background pretty much in gaming? I mean, you're the head of publishing for PlayJam.
What makes you qualified to tell us anything, sir?
Well, I mean, growing up, I had the amazing privilege of being a complete shut-in, which meant that I spent all my time playing computer games instead of socializing. As a result, yes, I know computer games quite well. I've done a fair amount of writing, journalism. I went to Gamescom and Eurogamer on press as well, interviewed a fair bunch of people. 2K were very nice to us, brought us into their private little area with an open bar, which turns out to be quite dangerous when you're in Germany. Because there's no limit on drinking in Germany, and that's something that I learned the hard way right before I went to interview two of the main guys from the new Civilization game, which led to the hardest interview on video that I've ever done in my life. I think I nailed it, but my face is extremely red.
Yeah, but I mean, people say, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "Well, I play games." You know, I mean, for a living. I mean, it used to be, you know, oh, well, how can you make a living from that? But as people know, I mean, games today, it's big business. It's serious business. And,
yeah. Hear that, Mum? It's big business. Hope you listen.
Your mom's listening, exactly.
All those times telling me to do my homework. Schooling never did nothing. That's a lie. But, yeah, I mean.
No, kids, stay in school.
Yeah, I mean, the computer game industry is now actually bigger and far more lucrative than both the movie and the music industry as well. I mean, the statistics everywhere just prove that. I mean, the return on investment is far safer than either industry, even with the movie industry when they deliberately tank films to basically get tax cuts as well. There's no real need for that in our industry because it is exceptionally lucrative, and there are lots of schemes in many countries as well as they're realizing just how lucrative it is to then protect themselves. So you're getting a lot of big money now coming in from other sectors, mostly banking and investment, to be honest, coming straight in to the gaming thing, and it's just going to keep growing end on end.
Now, let me just ask you this, because we kind of went lost over it here. Let's back up here. You said PlayJam's been around for quite some time. I was actually surprised when you mentioned how long it's been around. Is it proving to be a profitable venture? I mean, is it? I realize you're dealing with smaller games and it's sort of like, but is PlayJam doing well? I mean, is everything working well for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're moving forward. We're backed by two huge people, Adobe and GameStop. They're behind us, and you know, we're moving forward with this deal. I really wish I could announce who the deal is. It's been Because whenever people ask this question, I said, I want to tell you about this deal, just to kind of
Well,
bring on. I
there's
mean, we're expanding the network as we go on. I mean, we're moving onwards, strength to strength, and taking the games to more and more people as we go on.
well, does Mom know?
Mum doesn't understand computer games that well, nor does she really. I got my dad to play Grand Theft Auto 3 once, and it's quite interesting when the people that are very judgmental about games finally get it in their hand, and the first question is, how do I hit him with a baseball bat? To which the answer was, you don't have to, you already ran him over. So that's my lovely dad.
I'm right there with you, and it's no offense. Craig is he tries to get video games, but he doesn't, and that's why, especially my mom and Craig, both of them will say, "Oh, what game are you playing?" And I could be 4 or 5 games removed from playing World of Warcraft, and like, "Oh, is that World of Warcraft?" And I'll have like Civilization 5 up, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's WoW. No, don't worry about it." It's video like. It's such a booming industry, as you said. Companies, investment bankers, like there's money pouring into it left and right. But I feel like just there's a huge generation gap that there isn't in any other field. Like, and movies are pretty acceptable for anyone. If you sit someone down, they're not going to sit there, stare at the screen, and say, "So, what are we doing here? What is a movie?" Like, no one ever questions what a movie is.
What are these pictures moving? Oh God, where's the sound coming from?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
Witchcraft?
but both video games, they'll kind of like wipe it off and just say, "Oh, that's just for children. Just forget about it." But I guess in the past 15 years since you've been around, and especially since you've been in the field, I guess we're seeing a shift now. You're getting more respect, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's in no small part thanks to some of the great games that have come out, especially on mobile as well. A lot of people like to look down on the mobile gaming industry, especially within the industry, especially AAA developers tend to look down. You just need to look at the story of Ski Safari, which in China alone was raking in $15,000 a day. And that was made by one guy, and he was actually working for Rockstar developing, I believe it was GTA 4. It could have been GTA 5. Probably GTA 5. That makes more sense. And he left, and they all kind of laughed at him. And then he left, and now he's making crazy paper with that Ski Safari game. But games like that go to mobile now are accessible. You just need to look at like Bubble Witch Saga and Candy Crush. Although I have my own bone to pick with Candy Crush, but I'll save that for another day. But you see adults now playing these games, looking at these games, and now you get games like Monument Valley. Fantastic game, came out last year. I think it's been out for about 9 months, and it's already turned over about over $5 million, and its budget was under $1 million, and that was made by a team of 6 people. And now it's bringing we've already introduced like the casual games, your Angry Birds, your Candy Crush, as I said, to the older generations, and now we can show them that games can be more than just entertainment. They can be pieces of art, which is something that is extremely important. Games can be a work of art. For every Michael Bay Transformers, you have a Shawshank Redemption. So.
Yeah, no, listen, I've graduated from solitaire to 3D solitaire. I mean, I'm holding my.
You mean you bought a pack of cards?
If only it was just that. No, he actually has a 3D solitaire. But we actually just had our, and sadly enough, too bad you weren't around last night. We just had our Gamer Tuesday last night, where we had Grayson Hamilton on, and we talked all about video games and things like that. And we have like another 10 minutes or so here. We might actually bring up a few of those topics that we talked about last night and have them rehash with you. But he said many a times, video games can and are works of art. It's not just it's not every video game isn't just a hack and slash, hit them with a baseball bat, steal their money, what have you. Then there's video games like Journey or, like I said, Monument, where they have a point, they take you on an adventure, and then they end themselves. But you come away with a game with a very different experience than just another game.
Yeah, you've been entertained, and you've been entertained at the same time, but in such a way that it makes a memorable experience. Grayson Hamilton is one of our gaming correspondents, and he's on the show yesterday. And Ben brings up some good points with that. The one of the things that we talked about, I don't know if you saw last night, George, was Microsoft just was unveiled this pair of glasses that are not like the Oculus Rift,
The HoloLens.
first we have, but it's augmented reality, where you can literally you look through them like regular glasses, but they add different elements to the world that you're actually in.
Minority Report, similar.
Yeah. It'll put a TV screen up on a wall that really isn't there, but you see the screen. I mean, and you can model, you can do all these different things with different items. Very impressive stuff. Although they say it's still going to be at least they said 3-4 years away before it makes it to the mainstream.
That's what Bill Gates suggests.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Microsoft doing something. Well, usually Microsoft are the people that pull the trigger and first develop pieces of hardware. I mean, you just look like Microsoft made the first tablet computer in the early 2000s. No one really cared. Then Apple came along, and then they made it in like 2011, I think it was, with the first iPad. And then suddenly everyone cared about it. Microsoft has always been the first people to kind of innovate with hardware like that. It's nice to see them change their tact and sit back and wait for, say, Google Glass to come along first, and then look at Google Glass and say, that looks kind of stupid on people's faces. I'm going to try and do something different. And as a result, they went full whole hog. And I really like the way that he looks. I don't think I'm going to wear one leaving the house, to be completely honest. But it's definitely the future. The future is awesome. The future's coming.
Now, is that augmented reality I see on your wall, or are those actually like daisies? Is that wallpaper?
This is a rented property, but I won't lie, I feel the daisies bring a certain panache to my otherwise drab. I've actually got some bunting just hung over my TV, just to remind myself of a summer day when I'm sat in here with the blinds closed on a summer day. So with those glasses, I may literally never have to leave the house.
Yeah.
So,
that's become the thing now. You know, you just don't have to leave home anymore.
I can't, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if, because the HoloLens as it is now, it's kind of like a tinted glass and they have an overlay over it. But we've seen technology from different companies. There's actually a television company that came out with some glass that they could actually have it be see-through, and then they flip a switch and it turns opaque, and then you can't see through it at all, and then it turns into a television screen. So I would love to see the HoloLens, certainly not as bulky as they are now, but something slimmer, and then that visor that can switch on it, go from clear to opaque, in just like a snap of a finger. That would be where HoloLens would really start being snazzy, is if it can go from VR to AR instantly.
I remember reading up on like all the technology behind that, because I remember first seeing it when they just did it with glass. That could go from like glass to like not glass, opposite of glass. Glass but not transparent. Not sure what the word for that is. I remember reading up loads of papers and saying, this is really interesting, I'm going to learn how this is done. And I must have read about 20 pages on it. It's like, I understand none of this, so I believe that it's actually just magic, and all of these pages are lies.
that
will stick with that.
That works for me. Tell us a little bit about pricing. We talked about the games, the different. What about the GameStick? How much does that go for, and where can they get it if they want to, George?
The GameStick, it's in GameStop, but also in our stores. I believe we're selling them through our eBay store now as well, but you can pick them up at GameStop. It's also on Amazon as well, I believe. The pricing varies, but it's usually $25 or under for the GameStick and the controller, like the full setup. And then when you get on there, feel free just to plug it in, download a bunch of free games, and chuck in a few paid downloads as well.
Now it's a one-on-one. You only have one controller for the GameStick, or can you have two controllers for two people?
You can have two controllers. There's some games that are multiplayer. There's a game actually coming very soon. I believe it might be released this week, if not next week, which actually requires two players. So it's a game made for two people as well.
Okay.
A co-op game. The basic idea is that you're constantly attached by a rope. So you have to work together to collect all the things, and it's quite a short, nice journey kind of game.
Right. So this is the newest. So obviously you're getting more and more games together, and you're expanding upon the abilities. And obviously the GameStick console is capable of working with these things. Now, is the GameStick console upgradable via software? I mean, if you come in with a new operating system, or you need to upgrade it or add abilities to it, does the GameStick work that way, where you can download upgrades to the system?
Yeah, we've done software updates and things like that. Sorry, any future iterations of hardware that may or may not come as well will always be developed to make the games work on the original platform as well. Sometimes that would just not be possible as time marches on. Obviously, the demands get higher and higher. Mm-hmm. But the software, the UIs, there have been slight tweaks to them, and we are constantly monitoring it. We've got a big war room as well with all the screens up there telling us all the statistics and things like that. So whenever we catch something, we try our best to fix it right away.
Now, do you plan to come out with a GameStick 2 or a more powerful system as time goes by? Or any thoughts into
maybe a GameStick 360 or a GameStick 4? Just jump right in there. Go for the throat.
Game one. GameStick U. Can't be any more confusing.
Or the GameStick Wii or something. Yeah, exactly.
GameStick Wii, you just wave the stick about. Doesn't do anything, but you can wave it as much as you like. Yeah, I mean, same with any company, once you develop the first hardware and you feel that you've got that piece of hardware done, you start to consider future ideas. We've got a full engineering team as well, who are always working on new ideas, things like that, anything that we can do to expand. That's about as much as I can say right at the moment. But yeah, we are always looking.
Just pretend no one's listening and just tell us,
On a national radio show, that seems like a really good idea. Well, I think common sense can be applied to this. That we've had success with one piece of hardware, and as time moves on, we want to bring bigger and better games. We may have to consider bigger and better hardware. No, not necessarily bigger hardware, but yeah, we're always looking at the future technologies coming out and ways we can incorporate them. So yeah, we've got an engineering team that are always working. So
let me ask you, if you had to sort of pinpoint your demographic, who would you say the Play Jam, the GameStick are for? What age group? Who are you aiming at, or is it all over the road?
It seems really cliche to say, our console's for everybody, but it genuinely is hard to pinpoint it because, I say, the passion developers as well vary in all ages. You get really young people, you get older people as well, especially ones, I said, that have been working since the heyday. And it kind of harkens back to the old Amstrad kind of gaming thing where you could develop stuff and then put it out on there. I don't know. See, we've got a lot of games that are suitable for kids, and we've got some kid-specific games coming on as well. On the flip side, we also have Doom as well, so that's quite a weird one. I would say that it is everywhere. If I had to specifically pick, though, I'd probably say mid-teens to up to 40s.
Really? Okay. All right.
Again, it's because the passion behind the developers and stuff. A lot of our fans are actually quite interested in the development side of it, and that's where a lot of the interest is. And also parents getting it to play the games with their kids as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, if people want more information, they can go to the PlayJam website. Again, it's www.playjam.com, or just go to computeramerica.com. Click on our show notes page. A button, and you'll see today's date, February the 11th, 2015, and you'll see Play Jam's up there. We actually have a link to the Play Jam website, so it's all there for your edification and viewing pleasure. And if you're looking for a different kind of gaming system, this is certainly something that you should look into. Again, playjam.com. George, I want to thank you for being with us here tonight on the show.
Oh, well, thanks for having me both, Craig and Ben. It's been an absolute pleasure. Although I do feel I'm slightly delirious as it's creeping on to 4 a.m. and I haven't slept for quite some time. So,
yeah.
For all I know,
you're a gamer. You're a gamer. You've been training for this day your whole life. What are you talking about?
I'm an adult. There's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. I can barely drink. I have one beer and I'm already crying to strangers.
Well,
not too different from most of them, to be honest.
You can play the guitar. I know, so that's fine. You know.
I've got
so-
the banjo as well behind me. Next purchase is a
That's
cello. I need to get my piano up here somehow as well. No idea. It's a third floor flat.
All right. Well, listen, again, I want to thank you for being with us, George, again, and best of luck to you. And, and I'm sure we'll have you back again, all right, on the show.
I'd love to. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for talking, and yeah, cool.
And good night. All right, George, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so there you go. Again, it's Play Jam, and you can check it out for yourself at playjam.com. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk to SF New Tech. Okay. Evidently, this is a monthly technology event in the Bay Area, and they hold this, and they have some interesting things that they do there. We're going to be having them in the second hour of the show.
Oddly enough, SF New Tech, San Francisco New Technology. We have no idea what this is about, but we're gonna bring them on and see what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because you remember, remember we had Sandy Berger tonight, but she wasn't feeling well, and so we have two guests at the last minute. And but hey, you know, welcome to Live Broadcast Radio. This is what happens.
Please send all of your chicken soup recipes, not your actual chicken soup, to live@computeramerica.com, and we will be sure to give them to Sandy Berger.
Well, virtually anyway. Well, send virtual chicken soup.
We'll forward them along.
Exactly. No clucking either. Okay. When we come back now, we're gonna have in the second hour. We're also gonna have another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. We're gonna include that as well. And while you're at our website at computeramerica.com, just check out some of the great things that we have up there. We have, of course, our show notes. We have our weekly email newsletter, the show reminder. You should subscribe to that. Or just click on that. And just put in your email address, your first and last name, and click the submit button. It'll send you a confirmation email to which you must reply, and then you're in. And then it's the only publication in the universe that has the lineup of who's going to be on Computer America for the entire week. And you get that every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? And also, from the list of subscriber names, we draw a winning name every Friday to win a really nice prize from Logitech. Right now it's the Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad. It's wireless. It's rechargeable. It's made of glass. It's a touchpad. It's gorgeous. It's valued at $80, and we give that away to some lucky winner every single week. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with Hour 2 of the Computer America Show here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. You're listening to the one and the only Computer America.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
What is this? Always this long pause.
I don't know what you're talking about, long pause. I swear, to me, I come in as soon as I hear it.
Well, then you should know now that like 2 seconds go by between that, and I can, and then
and then I'm stumbling over you the whole time. Craig, we have to make trade-offs here. Technical glitches are not reserved for the common people. That would be you folks.
That's right. Anyway, if you
the peasantry, if you will.
Yes, if you're just joining us, we had Play Jam on the show. We had George Berry, who is the head of publishing for Play Jam. Hopefully, he's going back to sleep now. He's in Kent, which is just outside of London, and it was like
he was going on about his location. He's like, we're outside of Kent and so, and I was like, I don't know any of these places.
He's in Kent. Do you think he knows Clark?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Craig, leave the jokes to other people.
Oh no! All right. Anyway, always the critic. Anyhow, welcome into Hour 2 of the Computer America program. and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of switch tacks here, if you will, and just move into our second hour guest. Now, again, we have. We're just going to see how this goes along. Now, let me just kind of introduce him. It's SF New Tech is the Bay Area's largest, longest-running, and most loved monthly technology event and networking mixer for people who can't get enough of technology. I didn't know this. Did you? Well, maybe because I haven't been in the Bay Area for a while. But SF New Tech Stage is a platform for young startups and established companies alike to show off what they've been working on in front of a full room of people who actually care. Okay. Now, most demos are done by the founders, CEOs, or lead developers of some of the most innovative companies around. Each company or developer gets 5 minutes, and I mean 5 minutes only, sharp, cut off, to strut their stuff under the spotlight and on the big screen, and then another 5 minutes, sharp, cut off, to answer tough questions from the audience. Now, here to explain further is Miles Weissleder. Miles is the founder of SF New Tech. Miles, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
Wow, Craig, Ben, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great.
Doing great.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I love we share a similar title in the longest running genre.
How is that?
Really? What's your longest running at?
So SF New Tech is the longest running tech event in San Francisco. We'll celebrate our 9th anniversary in about a month.
9 years.
Hot diggity, not bad.
Yeah. Every single month, we provide a platform for startups to come and show off what they're working on in front of a room full of people that are working on similar things or trying to solve similar problems. It's cool.
Well, yeah, it is cool. This is February, and we're just that's our anniversary. We just started our 24th year on the air. So there you go. So
you guys got me beat. The 24 years. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. We slept through most of it, but you know.
Well, tell us a little bit about SF New Tech. Tell us about how did it come about, and a little bit of the background, and why an event that you have? What is the purpose of this event?
We got a lot of things going on. So I'll start with a little bit of history. Have you guys heard of Meetup.com?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Meetup?
Meetup.com, yes.
Sure. So I was on the founding team of Meetup.com way back in the day, where we realized you can use the internet as a way to get people together who share similar interests in a room physically versus just online. I was based in San Francisco. The company was based in New York City, and the New York City Tech Meetup started up as the CEO of our company's little pet project of getting, geeks in a room together in New York City to share stories. And I said, I said, shoot, I should start this San Francisco Tech Meetup as a way to eat my own dog food on the product I was working on every day, with no designs of what it would be. And we started with like 6 of us drinking beers at a bar talking tech. That's evolved to 15,000 people over 9 years of startups coming to show off what they're working on. So it started as the Tech Meetup of San Francisco 9 years ago, and has evolved into this institution in town that gives entrepreneurs a way to kind of get out in front of people.
Now, it sounds like a...
By the way, real quick, I'm sorry, but this is like the second time this week, and I've never heard this phrase before, eating your own dog food. Second time this week.
Oh, that's an old one, Ben.
What? I know, but this is my first time hearing it, and now I'm hearing it everywhere. What is going on? Whatever. Neither here nor there.
Anyway, when you're in the trenches working on a product every day, every single minute, and then if you want to use that product I felt I was eating my own dog food in that I was in the trenches of Meetup, but then on the outside using the product so I can learn how the consumer, quote unquote, was using the product. So quote unquote, eating my own dog food.
Well, now, let me ask you this, Miles, and again, so our listeners will understand.
Yeah.
Each company gets 5 minutes to talk about it, and then 5 minutes to get grilled, from the audience.
Yeah.
on the surface, it sounds like a technology Shark Tank. You know, I mean,
Predating Shark Tank by years, absolutely.
yeah. So yeah.
We have an industrial-sized clock, a digital clock that sits on the stage with the entrepreneurs that counts down 5 minutes, so they know exactly when their pitch is done. And we have like a strict no PowerPoint rule also, so it's like live demos. So we have these CEOs on stage doing a demo of their new web app or their new mobile app or whatever it might be. And our audience is like 250 people that are super tuned in, from your engineers in town, your business development people in town, your venture capital people in town, your media, all converge on SF New Tech to see the latest and greatest stuff. So they're up there sweating, and the clock is counting down. They've got 5 minutes to get their point across. And then once the switch is over, we've got 5 minutes to actually ask those guys questions and put them on the spot. So that's why we say that they're getting grilled, because it brings me no greater pleasure to see these guys sweat on stage when we start grilling them, saying, hey, why did you write that in this? Or like, what was your purpose of this? Or what's your marketing plan? Or the biggest question to this day, 9 years in, is like, how do you guys make money? You know, sometimes that's not even included in the pitch, and it's amazing.
Well, you know, now let me ask you this: why would a CEO of a company put themselves through that? And what's the objective? Why do they want to do that?
I think every company that goes up on stage has a different motive. You know, you have companies that are releasing new products and services, so they want to get the word out about what they're doing.
Okay.
You have new companies that are hiring engineers, so they want to raise their exposure to that set, which we provide. They're looking to raise money, so there might be money in the room. We don't guarantee it, but it's there. They hide in the corners. So there are a lot of motives on why they come down, but I think overall it's a community thing. So it started as a meetup, remember? So it started as just like dudes drinking beers talking tech, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a very community-oriented event. So to be a part of that and not exclude it, I think they find it's beneficial to be in the conversation than versus be out of the conversation. So I would say that's a primary driver.
No, I understand. Now, do you have any kind of sponsors maybe who might bring some, I don't know, not necessarily credibility, but
Absolutely, yeah, sure. So we've worked for the last couple of years until just a few months ago. We were working closely with Microsoft.
Oh, so okay. Wow.
Outlook.com, which is the service that essentially replaced Hotmail.
Uh-huh.
Was launched through SF New Tech here in San Francisco.
Wow.
OneDrive, IE also. They made T-shirts with SF New Tech as sponsored by IE, which sometimes I'm afraid to wear, but it's like.
I don't think anyone's going to jump you, but you're not going to get any new fans.
Exactly. It is what it is, But yeah, and Twitter has sponsored us, and so we've had absolutely some big names that come behind and help us out. Sure.
Well, that brings credibility when you have those big names like that. Certainly gives them visibility and also.
Yeah, it seems like even the tech giants that are out there, even though Twitter might have this kind of thing, or Apple might have have this kind of thing going on, like they're very focused on what they do. But even the tech giants, even the people who have a very clear business model, love startups and love looking at what people are doing, what's new, what are other people thinking about. And either they'll buy them or they'll encourage them, they'll invest in them. It doesn't matter that, hey, Apple makes computers, but they'll buy this app and they'll make it into something great. Like, it seems like even tech giants love startups.
Absolutely, Ben, you nailed it. There's so much innovation in this ecosystem. It's unreal that around every corner somebody's tinkering or doing something new and different. And all of the big companies have their eyes on these guys because oh my God, I was at a meeting tonight where I learned that a big brand name company, you know what their innovation strategy is?
What?
Acquisition. Acquisition. They're not looking to build it in-house, they're looking to buy it. So that into itself is just amazing. It's a phenomenon. But here in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, that feeds the culture because everybody's in it because they know they're going to get plucked up or they're going to make, everyone wishes they were the next Facebook or Twitter, but none of them will be. But it's all part of the mentality. It's like, if we're doing something new and different, we may get noticed. So, and we help in that process in getting them noticed.
Okay. And you say this happens every month?
Every month, sometimes twice a month. Yeah. So the reason we're on the phone today is actually, so we're producing this half-day conference that's focusing on food and technology.
Food Bite.
Yeah.
Now, what is that?
So Food Bites is a production that's bringing that essentially we put a word out for companies that were innovating with regard to ag tech and new innovations in food, to say, hey, we want to come and show what you're doing, and we partnered with the largest agricultural bank in the world called Rabobank. They're based in Amsterdam, that want to be in this conversation with these new and innovative companies. So we put a call out. We had over 100 applications of random companies from all around the world that said, hey, this is what we're working on, and we selected 12 of them. And on the 25th here in San Francisco, those 12 will go up on stage in the same format as SF New Tech. Everyone's going to get 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes for grilling, for a Q&A, and we're going to rapid fire through them. And throughout the day, we'll have a fireside chat with a big analyst from the bank and a big investor in the space. And we'll be drinking tons of wine because it's happening at a winery. It'll be a social event, half day here in San Francisco. But it's amazing to see, like, outside the walls of like what Silicon Valley was built on very digital, and what has turned into this big social media phenomenon or whatnot here in the Valley, that there is a huge new category of food innovation that people are starting to turn their heads towards investment opportunities and the next big Facebook, because there are a lot of problems that are being solved in the space of food that mainstream media certainly isn't tuned into, and it's just interesting to see. So we're on the forefront of that, and that's what this conference is all about.
Well, I'm sorry. Is your goal with Food Bites like to have these startups get funded on the spot, or is more of for relationship building?
We're not guaranteeing funding because, of course, you can't. But in the same regard, there's actually a certain part of the venue that we're calling the Investors Den, wherein we have like 4 or 5 investors in the space that will hold court in that space to interact with the entrepreneurs. Our hope is to create the petri dish with which that magic happens and investment will take place. And we're pretty confident out of those 12, I hope in like 10 years I look back, or 5 years I look back, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had $5,000 to put in those guys. Like it's like the early days in that regard. And again, I'm bullish on this stuff, but I think we did a good job in like selecting some companies. Everything from like, you might hear like the new trends in like protein powder. So like the cricket powder is like the big thing now. So like a company that's cooking cookies, like baking cookies that are made with cricket powder. It's like it's not on the market yet, but these guys are on the forefront of it all. That kind of stuff, or probiotic sodas, or algae as protein. Instead of eating soy or eating algae.
I can see Ben is drooling. Stop it.
Well, no, like, don't get me wrong. I read enough about foodie, and unfortunately I don't really live in an area that's conducive to being a foodie. But I mean this in the best possible way. That sounds like a very San Franciscan thing to say. Just all the new trends that are trending.
Absolutely, but look, that's okay. That's all good, and this is being funded by a global bank that deals in agriculture, that wants to see the trends in food. The part of our partners like Lyft launched Cliff Bar. Like those are like foods that didn't exist before but will now. Yeah, no, Ben, I get it. It's like it's not like your meat and potatoes or chicken wings. It's not. It's totally aside from that, but with the challenges that we have in feeding a world of billions of people, these are new solutions, that are, of course, nobody knows now, but trust me, 10 years from now, you'll be like, oh my God, look at that.
Now, Rabobank, is that the name of the bank that's hosting this along with you?
Yeah, so Rabobank is our partner in this, yes.
Okay. I have not heard of Rabobank. So that's something that's more to your area, because we're in South Florida here, and I've never seen a Rabobank here. So.
There's no reason for you to hear of Rabobank. So Rabobank is more of a B2B bank that deals in agriculture.
Ah.
So these are the guys that are growing the pineapples. These are the guys that are funding Starbucks. These are the guys that are bringing, that add the lubricant to the world of feeding the population. That as consumers know, they don't have a branch bank that we would go make a checking account at.
Now, that's actually that actually kind of brings up an interesting point, because when you hear about startups, obviously, or at least I should say for obvious reasons, you hear most about startups that are targeted to consumers in some way. Either it's a new platform for people to connect, or it's this great new game, or what have you. Is your convention? I'm sorry, I'm blocking the term of it. But are you targeted more towards business to business or business to consumer? Like, what's your audience?
So for this particular event, it's very small. It's 200 people at the max. The majority of which are probably within the investor community. The people that are coming to this event are looking for investment opportunity from maybe one of the 12 companies that are on stage. We also have a fair share of media that are showing up and people in the industry, other startups that want to be in that room. But I wouldn't call it, your mom and pop, come and, hey, check out, go eat some crazy algae sort of event.
Okay.
All right. So now I want to just go a little bit. Can you mention any of the maybe some notable startups that came through SF New Tech? That you really kind of hit it big, or got a great start from the SF New Tech.
Absolutely. Have you guys heard of Waze?
Waze.
Yes, we actually have that's actually been making the news lately. That's been making a lot of cops mad. But yeah, Waze.
So Waze is one of our alumni, for lack of a better term, have visited SF New Tech way before the acquisition by Google for shy of $1 million. Excuse me, $1 billion.
Billion, wow.
Yeah. So there's one. You guys know Evernote?
Yes, of course. No, Evernote with the I love their icon, the little elephant note. Yeah.
Yeah, so Evernote has come and presented early on in the day.
What kind of reaction they got with their 5 minutes? When Evernote came up and did their presentation, they said, "Oh, they'll never make it off the ground." What kind of reaction did they get from SF New Tech?
That's a great question. You know what? They were a 5-minute demo in the mix of 6 or 7 or 8 other companies, right? And they were just a run-of-the-mill startup at that time, from what I remember. It was just this note-keeping, save in the cloud sort of deal that was not really super, super amazing or special.
Yeah.
So they weren't rock stars at that point at all.
They weren't. But they didn't get booed off the stage either, did they? I mean,
no. Yeah, no. Rarely does somebody get booed off the stage. That takes a thinker of a startup.
Do you ever get any of those? And people say, "Oh man, get them off." I mean,
it's like, "Oh yeah, we didn't think about how to make money." Oh yeah, whoops.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect. There's not a lot of booing going on.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's there's certainly a lot of drama, but that never excuse towards the boo.
Just a polite smattering of applause or something, maybe a little sprinkle of that. But I mean, do you get people on the other hand? Do you get people just cheering? Oh man, this is great! And they just get
cricket does. My God, love it. Love everything about it.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a quick story. So have you heard of Twilio?
Twilio.
No, actually.
Yeah, again, Twilio is not on the consumer side, so there's not a lot of reason for you guys to be tuned in. But like they provide some of the agile. They provided like a layer for telecoms to more efficiently route data. So they have really, really, really robust APIs. Anyway. So Jeff Dawson, their CEO, came on stage, and part of his 5 minutes was to actually code on the big screen live in front of 200 people So when he started coding and the clock is running down and he's going to get it done, and he finished the script that he was going to do to prove his point, and he nailed it, and the clock just ticked off, and he showed it, and it worked. That's when everybody stood up and like, oh my god, and we got a real round of applause and like standing ovation. You know, like that sort of deal, like that was a big woohoo moment.
Wow. Must have made him feel really good too, I would think.
I would hope so. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Might have been the most applause anyone has ever gotten for coding. Like,
for coding.
That's very
exactly. Eat it while you can. Get it while you can.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so obviously everything is still it's moving well. You have this food bites coming up, and you have obviously some notable startups that have come through the SF New Tech, and so it's obviously things are working very well for you. What's the current tech landscape like in SF right now?
Let me ask you, what's the perception of the tech landscape from where you sit in San Francisco, if you don't mind?
What is
the perception? I hate to say it, but it has to be sort of the bleed over from Silicon Valley, and we actually just had a guest from Silicon Beach, which apparently that's down in Los Angeles. But it has to be kind of that. The perception is you guys obviously have the crazy gene in you. You guys are new. I don't want to say hippy dippy, but new out there, and yet you still have that tech startup because West Coast is all about technology. So it's new, innovative technology, but for things that probably don't have much mass appeal.
Interesting. Okay, I'll agree with you on a lot of that. From on the ground here in San Francisco as the city, San Francisco is different from quote unquote Silicon Valley, right? That's another 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes down the road. That's the true, heartbeat of what people consider to be Silicon Valley. Apple and all the HP, all those guys are down there. So there's been a trend of all those corporate entities moving up the peninsula into the city of San Francisco because that's where the talent is. That's where the creative class of these kids who are coding and where these guys are sharing rooms and paying $4,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. Sorry. How many people are listening to us? But
we believe you. That's okay.
Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
So no, it's just an amazing trend of the core of Silicon Valley moving up to San Francisco, that the town of San Francisco for the last decade at least has become, ground zero for innovation bent, as you had said, with that kind of bent of being different and in its own little bubble. So like we have companies like Instacart here in town that may or may not be operative where you guys are, but they've proved the model where they've wedged themselves between the consumer and the supermarket, and now are bringing food directly to the people where the supermarket didn't have a delivery function. So they figured out a way to make that work, and now people are getting food and items delivered to them, efficiently, easily, boom, in town. They've got like $1 billion valuation, and you know where that's going? Just like Uber and everybody else, that's going to be spreading all around the country and all around the world in metropolitan areas that can support it. So we're at the cutting edge and we're in our own little area, but that's the parapet of like what's going to happen everywhere else. At least that's my perception.
Yeah, well, okay, so listen, if you're listening to this and you're in the Bay Area, this might be something you might want to check out, SF New Tech, and you can go to the website to get more information.
Bring the kids. It seems like that kind of event. Bring the kids, bring the family,
bring
popcorn, you're good.
Yeah.
sfnewtech.com, or go to our website at computeramerica.com, go to our show notes page, and you'll see today's show, and we have a link to the SF New Tech up on our website as well. Listen, Miles, I want to thank you for being here with us tonight and letting us know about it. And have fun at Food Bites. Sounds like it's going to be a fun event to have. Okay.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the time, guys. Really do.
No problem. And congratulations on 9 and hopefully 10 and many, many more decades to come.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Good night. Good night. All right, there you go. Again, SF New Tech, and you can hear about it. Or you can, if you're in the San Francisco area, it's certainly something that you might want to check out for yourself. Okay, so that said, Ben, you want to do some computer and technology news? I think we have time to do a few stories. We got some interesting stories to do. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right, completely free. And we start off with the news today. Ben, you want to do the first story?
Yeah, I guess, but I was going to say February is still DIY month. We do not have a DIY topic tonight, depending on...
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Depending on how the schedule looks next week, or I'm sorry, tomorrow and the day after. If we have news tomorrow, we'll definitely have another DIY topic. I'm still, trying to think about what we could do. At this point, I'm looking at my iPhone, and I kind of want to say, I wonder if I could take this apart live on the air, and that would be entertaining or not. I'm waffling towards not, but yeah, we're struggling with DIY topics. So if you have anything you want to know about how to clean a computer in and out, or if you want to know how to do something else, let us know and we'll talk about it. But February is DIY month, so keep that in mind. But now we're just going to be doing computer technology news, even though we are running up against the break.
Yes, exactly. And let's start off with Maximum PC. Paul Lilly has a story. Let Google check your account security and receive 2 gigs of drive storage. Wow, okay. It's easier than a trip to the doctor. Free storage is out there for the taking. Earlier today we told you about Microsoft's desire to reward you with 100 gigabytes of free OneDrive storage simply for signing up for Bing Rewards. Well, it turns out Google is in a giving mood as well. In recognition of today being safer internet day, Google will inflate your drive storage by 2 gigabytes just for taking a quick security checkup. Okay? It's a quick and painless procedure that Google says will take you 2 minutes to complete, although when he ran it, the author, Paul Lilly, ran it, he was finished in about 30 seconds. He needed to verify the phone number associated with his main account. The checkup also gives you a chance to view your recent activity for anything suspicious, as well as disable access for less secure apps and double-check your account permissions. That's it. And for that, you get 2 gigs of storage for free. It's all happening at Google. Google Drive.
It's like going to the doctor, and then he gives you a lollipop.
All right, we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll continue on. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. We've got a News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up in the second hour. We're going to take a little quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. You're listening to the one, the only, the Computer America Show. Don't go anywhere. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Who said that? It's Marty Winston with another News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Thumbs Up touch speaker boombox. It's mostly cylindrical, about the size of a can of kidney beans, with flat sections at the top and bottom. Inside, a USB rechargeable battery powers it. Thumbs Up calls it the touch speaker boombox. When you place your handset on the top, with the handset speaker near the rear of the flat area, something couples the signal driving the speaker in your handset into the amplifier in the boombox, and the boombox 3-inch speaker up front drives a bigger sound into the room. It's a cool trick, but the thing that makes it worth doing is that the sound that comes out of it is quite good. It will take you a few tries to figure out the sweet spot for your handset. Also, the handset volume control is the only one in play here. And if you turn it up too much, what you hear will sound distorted. This just about always happens when you turn things up too much. Bottom line, the Thumbs Up touch speaker boombox is a cool way to get a big sweet sound out of a handset with no pairing or cables required. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back into the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour. It's 11:33, by the way, if you don't know what that means.
Hey, you look like a dog.
Thank you. You aren't too pretty either. Welcome back into the Computer America Show. We are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. We were just jumping into it. We cover, and for anyone who's possibly never heard of our new segment, that's when we go around the internet and look for the most popular, the most trendy, the most kind of oddball stories we can find.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Concerning news, concerning technology in the news, as well as science and technology in general. Mm-hmm. So I know Craig doesn't like it, but sometimes we even do stuff about comments and things like that.
Yes.
But we actually have a story here that our previous guest mentioned, and that is Waze.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm not sure if we actually covered that particular story on the air or if I just read it in my own personal time, but for anyone who doesn't know, Waze is getting into a little bit of trouble because police officers are actually getting miffed, they're getting miffed that people are using Waze because Waze lets you kind of tag, oh, there's a car accident here, oh, there's road construction there.
Oh, yes.
Kind of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crowdsourced, and it will let you kind of tag and receive notifications of things that might be in your way.
It's letting people become the average citizen become police stalkers. I mean, you literally could do that.
Not quite. That's not the intended purpose. The intended purpose is well, no, not even that. It's maybe there's construction, maybe there's a traffic accident, something like that. It's very crowdsourced, very up to date, very efficient. And people have used it for all sorts of ways. And one of the things that people love to report on is, of course, there's a speed trap here, there's a drunk driver checkpoint here. Yep. Avoid this, because let's face it, especially with drunk driving checkpoints and speed traps, you don't want to be anywhere near those. You could possibly get a ticket because they're on hyper alert. They could actually slow you down in case of checkpoints. You just want to avoid them at all costs. But what's been happening with Waze is that over the past couple of years, they've actually been cutting into the city's revenue from tickets.
Really?
Yeah, they've been cutting into the revenue of tickets, and they've and local police jurisdictions have actually been fighting the legality of Waze, saying that it's interfering with their ability to protect the public. And because of that, they want it pulled, they want it taken down from the App Store, and they want it pretty much destroyed.
I understand that some of the officers, like in Miami, have apparently taken to downloading the Waze app themselves just so they can flood the app with inaccurate data.
Yeah, so that's what the story tonight is yay Miami, being the real stand-up thing Miami is. Apparently, a couple of the officers went on, downloaded Waze because they know people use it to track police whereabouts, and they've been spreading false information about, oh, there's a police checkpoint there, just so that they might be able to catch you, perhaps doing something in an area where the app says they are, or where the app says they aren't, but in reality they actually are. So, and they have a quote here saying that hundreds of officers in the Miami area have downloaded the app, which lets users provide real-time traffic information and identify areas where police are conducting speed enforcement. The local NBC affiliate says the officers are flooding Waze with false information on their activity in an attempt to make the app's information less useful to drivers. Disclosing the location of the police officers puts us at a risk, puts the public at a risk, because it's going to get more deadly encounters between law enforcement and suspects. That's again what one of the officers said. And the problem is, though, is that that's not exactly how Waze works. That's not exactly what crowdsourcing is good for. So what they've found out is that there are you kind of get a score, and as you use the Waze product, as you submit traffic jams, as you submit police checkpoints, as you submit car accidents, you get points, and then that goes towards a premium membership or some kind of reward system. I'm not too sure. I haven't used it too much, but suffice to say, there are points involved. And what it looks like in Miami is that one person will submit, police officers are here, use this route instead, and then about 300 other no-point accounts will come by and rate it highly. So it's very clear and very obvious that's not normal. That is abnormal. So it didn't take people long to realize that, oh, this false report with a couple hundred other reports, someone's trying to game the system, which the cops were found of doing. So that's what that is. Miami cops, they were trying to get people to, I guess, mess up, and in turn, they just made themselves look kind of silly.
Yeah. Well, there it goes. All right, and again, that comes from Tech Dirt. Interesting story. Here on the show.
Silly story. Silly story.
A silly story. Hey, I wanted to do this next story here. This was actually very, very cool. This is from Wired magazine. They have an incredible hospital robot that's saving lives. Yet at the same time, he says he hates it. This is from Matt Simon from Wired. He says the robot, I'm told, is on its way. Any minute now you'll see it. We can track them, There's quite a few of them, so it's only a matter of time. Any minute now. Here he is. And far down the hospital hall, double doors part to reveal the automaton. There's no dramatic fog or lighting, which he jots down as disappointing. Only a white rectangular machine about 4 feet tall. It waits for the doors to fully part, then cautiously begins to roll toward them, going about as fast as a casual walk, emitting a soft beep every so often to let humans around it to know that it's on a very important quest. It's not traveling on a track, it's unleashed, and it's free. The robot is known as Tug, and aptly named, he kind of goes closer and closer toward the author of the story at an elbow of the L-shaped corridor and stops. It turns its wheels before accelerating to the turn, and then suddenly halts once again. The photographer he brought along is blocking its path, and by way of its sensors, the robot knows it. Tug, it seems, is programmed to avoid breaking knees.
Okay, wait. I got to say this. This is so strange because this is where my personal life kind of intersects my professional life, and professional life being whatever I do here.
Yes.
I remember because I grew up in hospitals. Don't say why, but I spent a lot of time in hospitals when I was younger, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Mhm.
And it was more of just being around there and helping out behind the scenes, not so much that I was actually being treated for anything. And when I was about 10 years old, I kid you not, this was probably back in early 2000s, maybe 99, 2000.
Mhm.
They had one of these robots.
Tug? They have one just like Tug?
Yeah, about 15 years ago.
Really?
And I actually got to saw it. I got to play with it. I got to see what it did, and they were using it. I'm sure this one obviously is going to have more high-tech features, but this one was a runner of drugs. Like it was very smooth. So people or doctors would load it up with medication, vaccination,
Right.
drugs that other people need, and then they tell it where to go, which room it would go to, and then it would just speed around the halls delivering drugs left and right, and it would work tirelessly. It was a tug.
Well, he says it delivers drugs and clean linens and meals while carting away medical waste and soiled sheets and trash. It does all that. And by the time the fleet spins up to 25 robots on next month, it'll be the largest swarm of Tug medical automatons in the world, each with the robot traveling at an admirable average of 12 miles a day.
I've actually seen one of these.
Yeah, well, this is cool. I mean, he says the whole circus, though, he calls it a circus. He says he finds this whole thing bewildering. He says the staff still seems unsure what to make of Tug. Reactions he witnessed range from dawing over its cuteness, to an unconvincingly restrained horror that the machine had suddenly become sentient. Yeah, it's the precursor to the Terminator. I grew up in Silicon Valley and write for Wired, and he's even confused about it. He says the whole thing is just weird. He says it's really weird, and I'm not sure he likes it much. So that's the opinion.
Yeah. The article's pretty long. We're not going to get too into it. Just suffice to say that I've seen one of these. I saw it about 15 years ago, and I actually got to play with it. Like it was coming right at me. It travels like perfectly down the middle of the hallway. And then if you get in front of it, it beeps like it's angry. It's just angry. It's like, how could you get in my way? Beep, 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 beep. And then it kind of backs up, spins a little bit, and tries to go like 3 or 4 feet to the right or the left. And then if you step in front of it again, it gets really mad again. It goes beep, 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 beep. And you could just stand there and do that all day. And of course, it's delivering life-saving medication, but why not mess with it by getting in front of it every time? But I've seen them. They're cool. They're definitely going to be robots you're going to be seeing in hospitals more and more, because at the end of the day, why does someone need to waste their time bringing you blankets when you could just have this gentleman roll in, hand you your blanket, and roll back out?
And be done with it. Absolutely. Okay.
They're cool, and also they are elevator compliant, so they can even go on different floors.
That's true. All right. All right. So we're going to continue on. Ben and I did computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And how about the story about? I know you and cell phones. One of the things that you didn't like about cell phones is that the battery wouldn't last a day. Remember that? And
you should clarify that.
Yeah. What?
It's not me and cell phones. It's
what
me and smartphones.
Smartphones, right? Because you had a jitterbug, and that lasts.
It's not like I'm walking around saying smartphones or cell phones give you cancer. Don't use smartphones or don't use cell phones. They're crazy. It's smartphones. I feel like the battery life, they were unusable in their earlier stages.
Right. Well, Sony evidently is coming out with a budget Xperia E4 phone that's promising a 2-day battery life and a 5-inch screen. Okay. Obviously, the size of the screen affects the battery life, but evidently they're saying, as a new low-end phone to try and tempt those of you whose bank accounts don't stretch to the expense of its flagship Xperia Z3, the Xperia E4 has a large 5-inch display and a battery that will apparently keep it chugging along for 2 whole days, which is an impressive claim for smartphones. I mean, if you get just 1 day out of your smartphone, I have an iPhone 5S. if I can get it to go the day, I mean, I'm happy, because I don't keep it too far from the charger. I mean, I have a charger in the phone if I need, in the car. I have one there. I have one by my computer. I have one by my bedside. So,
the iPhone 5S is the first phone I've gotten where I actually am pleased enough with the battery, because if I leave it charging overnight, I wake up in the morning and I use it moderately. Whenever I'm bored, I pull up an app or something like that, or I use it for phone calls. It will stay at a reasonable power level, and then by the end of the day, every day, it's down to about 11 or 12%.
Yeah,
So the iPhone 5S has finally lasted a full day for me.
Well, and that's good, because mine. I don't think I've ever seen mine 11%. Mine, the lowest I've ever seen is like 65%. And you do a lot
Well,
of
you're
tech.
not using your phone. Yeah, but you're not using your phone enough.
Well, I don't have a girlfriend like you. Texting all the time. So, anyway, the key specs for the phone includes a 1.3 gigahertz quad processor, 8 gigs of storage, and a 5 megapixel camera on the back. So it's a nice setup. It's got a nice size screen, but basically, the bottom line is this phone is affordable, and you get about a 2-day battery life. That's what Sony's promising. We'll have to wait and see, but if they can do that, that's good. I like it. Anyway, we thought you should know about that phone.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I have nothing against Samsung. All right. Let's see. Here's a fun article. This should take a little while. This one from Gadget, and here's what you could buy with Apple's $700 billion market cap. Because these are always fun.
Yeah. Okay.
So this one from Engadget, again, Daniel Cooper. And when we talk about a company's market capitalization, it's really just a jargony way of saying how much that company's really worth. Say, for example, you want to buy a company that the way you do a product in a shop, well, the market cap is a great way of calculating the company's price tag. Not that Apple has $700 billion sitting around, but Apple, if you wanted to buy everything Apple is and everything Apple does and everything Apple is connected with, you'd have to shell out about $700 billion.
Okay.
So,
right. What could you buy?
Safe to say you can describe that as a lot.
Okay.
In fact, it's such a large amount of money that you may have trouble comprehending what that actually amounts to in real terms. And that's why here at Engadget, they have decided to work out what $700 billion could buy in the hands of a spendthrift.
Okay.
And they hope that you're paying attention, Tim Cook. So the first thing you could do is buy a sports club or two. Okay. So naturally, the first thing any newly rich billionaire does is buy themselves a sports team. But which one? They started by looking at the Forbes list of the world's richest soccer clubs and decided to buy all 20 of them. After all, the combined value was just $20.95 billion. Pocket change for Apple's cap, for Apple's market cap.
Yeah. Okay.
And
how about
by the way, next, whoa, slow down there. Slow down. Next, they moved on to baseball, and they picked up the 10 biggest baseball clubs from the New York Yankees to the Chicago White Sox for a further $9.14 billion. That's easy. That's just $30 billion, and they've already purchased pretty much the most popular sports teams in the world. So the next thing, with $700 billion, doesn't mean much if you don't have a sweet ride to go with it. So the most expensive Veyron clocks in at $4 million, which means that you could grab a fleet of 175,000 Bugatti Veyrons, enough to give each person in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and still have enough left over to never need to buy a new car again. That's crazy. Buy an even nicer jacket. Once you've got the fancy fleet of supercars, of course, you could probably do with a sweet motorcycle jacket to go with it. After all, you don't want people to think you're just square sorts of billionaire who doesn't still like to rock out every now and again. So they have a quilted jacket from a British designer to complement any billionaire's midlife crisis at about $600 a pop. That's a lot for a jacket. you'll be able to afford you'll be able to buy just shy of 1.17 billion of them, one for each second for roughly the next 37 years. Maybe you could let us take one of your old ones since you won't be needing it anymore.
Yeah, how often can you wear a jacket? Jeez, how many?
Apparently, one for each second for 37 years. Crazy.
Now, the next one is realistic. I'm buying one of the world's most expensive houses 700 times over.
Exactly. Yeah, 700 times over. So there's a billionaire in Mumbai. He has 27 floors of pure opulence, including 3 helicopter pads, 600 staff members, and a whole level just for a private health facility. If that's a little bit too far away for your daily needs, you can also pick up Versailles, Florida property. Versailles. Thank you. There's a lot of letters after whatever. Versailles. The Florida property that was the centerpiece of the documentary The Queen of Versailles, which is worth $100 million. These numbers aren't even coming close to $700 billion. And by the way, you could also send everyone's kids to college. The tuition fees for Harvard University work out to $44,000 a year, plus room and board, taking that closer to $70,000. If you suddenly had Apple's market cap as cash in your hand, you could put 10 million people through the first year of their Ivy League degree without batting an eyelid. Alternatively, you could put 250,000 people, the population of St. Petersburg, Florida, through all 4 years of their degree.
What a nice
Crazy.
Thing to do.
Buy Apple's Rivals, pay Harrison Ford to be your best friend, which apparently Harrison Ford is for sale. Who knew? For a cheap $500.
65 million dollars. Harrison Ford is commanding a whopping $65 million fee to appear in Indiana Jones. All right.
But you can pay him. Well, actually, it's extrapolating his filming time for the movie for his paycheck. And it works out to about $555,000 a day.
Right.
So if you pay Harrison Ford $555,000 a day, almost $500,000 a day, yeah, you would have 1.26 million days before he needed to find work elsewhere.
That's a long time.
That's a lot of time spent with Harrison Ford. So hopefully that's money well spent. But yeah, you know, that's just some of the crazy things you could do with Apple's market cap. Of course, Apple will never liquidate. Apple will never sell everything off and turn $700 billion into cash. But it's crazy to think that one company under one CEO, under one board of directors, is worth $700 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of dough. That is exactly. Okay, well let's we only have a few minutes to do stories. I'm trying to find a couple of short stories. Here's one. Microsoft buys a calendar app in its latest bid for mobile relevance. Microsoft just snapped up another app that works beyond the Microsoft universe. Today, in a blog post and a video posted to YouTube, Microsoft confirmed its acquisition of calendar app maker Sunrise. The deal was first revealed last week in a report from TechCrunch, and though Microsoft didn't disclose the terms of the deal, TechCrunch put the price at $100 million. The Sunrise app pools calendar data from a variety of online sources, including Google Calendar, Apple iCloud, Microsoft Exchange, and Facebook, and it's available for a wide variety of devices. It includes Macs, iPhones, iPads, and Android phones. The buy fits right into the aggressive new strategy Microsoft has pursued under its CEO. The software giant is now playing nicely with rival online services while embracing devices that run something other than its own Windows operating system. So there you go. It bought the new app, the calendar app, Sunrise. So there.
Do you think they're going to work that into their phones, or do you think they're going to work that into their actual operating system?
Well, you know, Windows 10, they might put it. You know, it's still kind of open. Windows 10, what they're going to find.
Because let's face it, the calendar app on Microsoft is so plain and lackluster. Like, it literally just gives you a calendar. I feel like you could have much more organization around the calendar built into the operating system. That if they brought in an actual app, it would be a great feature for the operating system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be.
And I know I'm talking to an Apple guy, but
yeah,
but still, does Apple have some kind of calendar app where you can kind of plan things and use it to keep
calendar?
events?
Yeah, calendar. It's called calendar.
Yeah, well, Microsoft doesn't have anything like that.
Well, now they will, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess it's just getting on with getting on with the times.
Yeah, I guess so. They're trying to catch up, and I think with Windows 10 they're really doing a good. They're on the right track to do it. I mean, they seem to be doing so many things correct this time, making up for all the things they did wrong.
They didn't do it wrong. They might have pushed it a little wrong, but I think they were trying things different. Different does not mean wrong, Craig, but they tried to be too different, and people and scared people, made people angry because people don't like change apparently. So they're going back to their roots, but it seems like they're also adding a lot of great features, which is probably what's going to define Windows 10. It's not that it's going back to Windows 7 ideals, but it's adding things that people are liking.
Yeah. Well, are you going to update to Windows 10 when it comes out?
I have a Windows 7 computer. That means I qualify for the free upgrade for a year, and I will probably be doing that.
Good for you.
As soon as I'm sure that all my video games are going to work, then yes, I will be upgrading to Windows 10.
Okay.
And what I'm saying, as soon as I'm sure all my work emails and work documents and worky things work with Windows 10, then yes, I will be moving over.
Worky things?
Worky things, yes. I have lots of worky things.
All right. Okay. Well, that about wraps up the show for tonight. Again, thanks to both of our guests on the program.
90 seconds.
Tomorrow night in the first hour, we're going to have Speaker.com. Basically, this is a website that allows you to find the most influential, speakers that talk about different platforms and for if you're looking to make an impactful campaign, this is what they do. And then the second hour, we're going to have Sticky Password. Basically, Sticky Password is an app that lets you create passwords, for
60 seconds.
But they're all sticky. They're very sticky.
They're very sticky. Instead of organizing dozens of passwords, all you have to do is remember just one, and everything else is just automatically filled in by the password manager. They're going to be here in hour 2. That makes a lot of sense. Just one master password, and it's going to take care of all your other passwords. And Sticky Password works. It's easy, it's safe, and secure. We're going to have the CEO of the company on the program tomorrow night. Thank you all so much for being with us here tonight. It was a lot of fun, and we will see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. And we'll have Sandy Berger back on next month. And in the meantime, we hope to see you tomorrow. So have a good evening and good night.
Yep. Good night, everyone.